Welcome back, episode 16, No Cap Sports, man. We back to y'all live, and I was thinking about what to name this episode. Only one name felt right. The Pedro Stojakovic episode, man. He was on the last Mavericks team that won the
Oh,
chip.
Nick!
Mavs
You
in the
got
Western
Ben
Conference
McLemore so
Finals.
messed up, bro.
Bro, Nick. First of all, I'll tell the people, we are all back home in Memphis right now. That's a blessing. Me and Nick actually talked about Pedro Stojakovic recently, which is why I'm very surprised. But let me ask you this, Vance, because this is a discussion me and Nick had yesterday. Number one overall pick. If you had to set the expectations for your number one overall pick in basketball, NBA, or NFL, what is the bare minimum you need to be as a number one overall pick to justify that selection?
In any sport or just like basketball?
We were talking about basketball and football.
All right. Well, in basketball, bro, if I need a play made, can I give you the ball? I don't need no secondary player, bro. I need a person I can give them the ball. They're gonna score. They're gonna make the right pass. LeBron James, I get Luka.
Do you have like certain accolades or benchmarks they have to achieve? Like, do they have to be all-star? Do they need to be like this, that, score a certain amount of points? Like,
just flat out, if I give you the ball, I think he's gonna score.
okay.
Just like if Luka gets the ball, you think he's gonna make a play. If LeBron gets the ball, you think he's gonna make a play. It's probably about maybe 15 players like that in the NBA right now.
That's true. Do you think Andrew Wiggins is one of them?
I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. He been carrying. Yeah, he the second. He been the third best player in the Warriors.
That's a fact.
Better than Clay. I mean, it's Steph Curry. Sometimes he's better than Poole. I mean, he low.
So do you think Andrew Wiggins is
He more consistent than Poole.
That's what I'm saying. He's like he's
Poole,
giving you 20 points every night.
but Poole is going out and getting them. Wiggins is getting his off of kickouts and hard closeouts.
Is
He's
he?
getting them. He's getting them either way.
So you're
consistently.
you'll trust Andrew Wiggins to get a bucket over Jordan Poole, right?
I trust him to guard the other team's best player.
What'd you just say though? You just said go get a bucket.
That's what he been doing.
But you'll trust Wiggins over Jordan Poole
To do what?
get a bucket.
It
No.
depends, bro. It really depends.
I
Bro, some
digress.
days Jordan Poole is gonna give you 10 points. Some days he's gonna give you 30.
And Wiggins does the same thing.
And Wiggins gonna give you 18 no matter
Wiggins
what.
been the second best
Nah,
player
that's
in the
cap.
Warriors.
That was something I wanted to point to bring up to you. So that was, I thought you would side with me, Mill Sass related.
I mean, bro, I don't like Jordan. I hate the Warriors. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't care who wins the finals. I just don't want them to win.
You got a 75% chance, sir.
So to start the episode, man, we gotta talk about it, bro. It's beef in college football right now, and guess who started it all? Everybody's favorite head coach, Nick Saban. Well, he's not my favorite, but being from down south, everybody loves Nick Saban, bro. So anyway, all this started over NIL stuff. Saban had, a number of comments to make, kind of threw Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher and Jackson State and Deion Sanders under the bus concerning their implementation of NIL rules. So if you don't know, Texas A&M has the best recruiting class possibly in the modern recruiting era, with 5-star prospects in this year's recruiting class, with 20 in the top 150 of the ESPN 300. So you look at that recruiting class, man. Saban has some words to say, bro. He doesn't like the lack of structure in college football with the NIL deals, and he alleged that Texas A&M bought every player on their team, echoing the sentiment that Lane Kiffin said earlier when he said that Texas A&M was going to incur a luxury tax with their team. So in this whole press conference, Saban's going off, talking about NIL, talking about how it's being abused, how there's no structure. And like I said, he also threw Jackson State under the bus, saying that Jackson State paid a guy $1 million last year, who was a really good Division I football player, to come to the school, and talked about how it was posted everywhere and things like that. And he also threw some shots Miami's way, talking about how Miami was bringing in a guy to hoop, and they gave him $400,000. So talking to you guys, man, what do y'all think about this whole drama in college football to start off with? Saban versus Fisher and Saban versus Sanders. And Saban versus the world, really.
I'm about to say, you said Saban versus Miami. I guess who's it called Miami? Saban versus Manny Diaz? I feel like he'll take that one.
It was basketball at Miami. So.
Oh, Saban for Jim Larinaga? I think he might be 0 for 3, actually. It was shocking. Obviously, a lot of people were shocked by it, especially considering the source. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think Nick Saban is unfamiliar with the concept of using money to acquire players. You feel what I'm saying? I understand why he feels that way because, as we all know, Alabama has had a pretty secure vice grip on recruiting and really college football in general for the past at least half decade, if not more. So I guess his frustration is understandable, but it's honestly completely childish, immature, and really, like you said, really, really, like you said when we was together, like it's very there's no point to it. It's a very bad, not a very, it is a bad take. What am I trying to say? It's in poor taste, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Texas A&M, biggest school in Texas, by the way. I would, if I was a 5-star player, I would definitely probably try to go an hour outside of Houston versus middle of nowhere, Alabama. That's one. Texas A&M, highest endowment in the state of Texas as well. So, like, understand what Nick Saban is talking about NIL. These things are like, yeah, it's a little bit of a wild west right now, but this is not like NIL that just, well, it was officially recognized very recently, but the type of thing that Nick Saban's accusing Jimbo Fisher and Deion Sanders and Jim Larinaga are doing, whoever said, Jimbo Fisher said it. If we dug into Nick Saban's past deep enough, I bet we can find all of those things that he accused those other coaches of doing. Albert Mean, he wasn't at Alabama yet, but all the guys at Alabama that went to Alabama went on just because they believed in Nick Saban. Come on now. So I understand why he said it, but I ain't gonna lie, he's gonna catch more hell for saying it because he just like the bully that's crying because the little dude hit him for the first time. Like, you can't do that.
Man, it's just crazy because really, Jimbo Fisher is his equal. He won a national championship at Florida State.
Yeah,
he just beat Alabama last season.
But he was still his assistant though.
Texas A&M beat Alabama. That's a fact.
it is.
You can't deny it. And so what I think it comes down to is, I think he's a hater, bro.
Continuing to talk about this, man, this whole back and forth between Jimbo and Saban, I think, what I'm saying, it's kind of good for college football, bro. Because now you're getting the superstar coaches and you're giving them, the platform to really pop off. Because, like, you look at Deion, he didn't just respond on social media. He also did an interview with Anscape and he helped on I Am Athlete. He wanted to let people know, like, this what's up. I'm not going to play that, you know what I'm saying? And like y'all said, bro, I agree. I think Nick Saban is just kind of starting to realize, like, kids aren't going to come to Alabama just because you're Alabama now. You know what I'm saying? You've been given these under the table, the covert on top of the table stuff. But looking at some of these deals, bro, I think the main point is, like, the number one rule in the NIL, both state law, NCAA law, and a lot of school law, is you cannot use NIL to entice a player to come to your school. That's the number one rule. That's the number one rule.
I mean, it is, but
so in a way, he has a point.
Not literally? Is it not the first thing it does?
But I'm saying, in a way, no, it's supposed to be once you get there, once you get established, the NIL deals come. Because think about it. You remember when Caleb Williams left Oklahoma? Yeah. The guy in Eastern Michigan was like, hey, I got $1 million if you come to Eastern Michigan.
But high school schools can get NILs, can they not?
What do you mean?
Like, does Bronny James, does he not have an NIL deal? He's with PSD, like the underwear, huh?
Yeah. You can, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you can brand yourself to have those deals. But those deals cannot determine where you go to school, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
but I think Alabama just need to get their booster money up.
Anybody can be an Alabama booster.
So I'm sure 50 people.
I'm sure the money is there, especially with the success Alabama has had.
Like Nick said, and Nick Saban is out of line for this. And also, one thing I want to add before you keep going is, like, this is actually Nick Saban is, like, admitting he's still in the pressure. I said, they definitely had a grip, not even on football, but specifically recruiting for the past half decade.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of continuing this talk of NILs. What do y'all think about the future of NILs and just how it's going to affect the college landscape going forward?
I love it, bro. Honestly. Because at this point, at this rate, it's going to get to where more colleges are competitive. Like, Alabama's not going to win a natty every year. Clemson's not going to be in a national championship game every year. Like, in college basketball, you get a St. Peter's. There's going to be more St. Peter's type of schools making the NCAA tournament. Especially, so you had the NIL deal and the transfer portal opening up like crazy.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is hoop somewhere, and then you can transfer to another school and get paid just like that.
But do you really think it's going to create parity if you got a lot of the big name guys going to the bigger schools with the bigger pools of money? Do you think that's still going to create parity?
I definitely do.
I would have to respectfully disagree. I think what Nick is probably trying to say too is that essentially this system that we're headed towards NIL is becoming a system of, the player going to the highest bidder. And there's only a certain contingent of schools that are going to be able to realistically bid on a top 50 guy, top 100 guy, top 150 guy, top 300 guy. Like, do we really think if NIL, I don't know how far we think it's going to progress, but if it essentially becomes a thing to where they can give these kids money out open in the front, like Nick Saban saying, I feel like there's no way that a Travis Hunter goes to Jackson State 5 years from now, or whoever the top athlete is in class 2020, 2032, because I mean, I don't know how different the wages was, the money was between Alabama and Jackson State, but I guarantee you, whatever the difference was, it'll be exponentially bigger next 5 years.
I mean, what you call it? Saban gets paid more money than Jackson State whole athletic department.
Thanks. So I'm saying, like, Travis Hunter may be and I think I read somewhere like his parents was HBCU, like he's down for the cause. But like, okay, let's fast forward 5 years and we say NIL has become even more deregulated. If Nick Saban, like, because I feel like he's already complaining now, so I feel like he can go over the top. If Nick Saban offers a guy straight up like $3-4 million, what other program? Name me 5 of them programs that can go out and offer a number one.
That's where the transfer portal comes in though. So let's just say you a guy, you playing for Nick Saban, you not getting all the you getting paid, but you're not getting the playing time that you want to be able to go pro. That's where you transfer to a smaller school. That's where you transfer to a JSU. You transfer to a University of Memphis. You can transfer. You can transfer to Houston. Yeah,
Prairie View. Yeah,
y'all got Houston money. I don't know why y'all not hooping. Y'all should have been biting the floor. Real talk. Hey, y'all made it to the SWAC. My bad.
Y'all lost. Really.
Yeah, y'all made it. Y'all drove to Jackson kick a field goal, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, it was only one.
Y'all got a transfer from Louisville, a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say it was NIL money. If this was 5 years down the road, he could have got an NIL deal easily
at PV, huh?
Yeah,
this is true. I just feel I'm bad because drop Nick. I just feel like with Travis Hunter, like with the thing that Deion's doing right now, if it becomes to the point to where like it should is like an NBA 2K roster, I just fit and plug salary to how good of a player you are. I feel like it puts, like you said, HBCU, FCS schools at a disadvantage because it's gonna be like people are gonna lose. Oh, my family went there, or the stadium is nice, so that tradition's all that shit's gonna go out the window. It's gonna be like, what is the bread talking about? And I mean, I don't like that.
I also think, bro, you gotta look at it. You gotta take a step back, bro. You get every year ESPN top 300. How many of these kids are actually going to these FCS smaller schools anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like the back end of that 300, yeah. But that top 150, those are all gonna be FBS Power 5 guys. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. You know, you're going to have your instances of a guy like
Travis Oliver.
Yeah, exactly. And then like your Travis Hunter, of course. And my thing, back up a little bit. Nick Saban is mad at Travis Hunter. He was never committed to Alabama. Never had interest in Alabama. He was committed to Florida State, decommitted from there, and went to Jackson State. So if anybody should be mad about NIL money, it should be Mike Norvell. But anyway, continuing my talk. I think NIL needs to be regulated more in a way to where kids aren't seeing the big money and saying, oh, let me go get the big money here instead of being here where it fits more. You know what I'm saying?
Or have like the incentive, you got to stay here 2 years or stay here a year.
I mean, like, I don't even think you should put a time limit on it. I just think they should really find a way to enforce the rule of NIL cannot be used to entice a player to go to a specific school.
But how do you do that, though, Nick? How do you enforce that rule?
I think the way it should be is you can't sign an NIL deal until you've done like 2 weeks of class or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't.
They gonna talk about it regardless.
I mean, you're gonna get it regardless, but it's like just for the optics. You know what I'm saying? There's no way, like in the case of Travis Hunter, there's no way you commit to Jackson State and then the next day, the same day, all your Barstool, all your endorsements come out. Because guess how that looks? Like, oh, he went there.
But what does that do for high schoolers then? So like Mikey Williams.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think if you get in a bag in high school, that's different. Because a lot of that's unattached. And in the NIL rules, it specifically states like the money you make has to be tied not to your athletic performance, not to you choosing to go to a school, not anything. It has to be tied to who you are as a media person. You know what I'm saying? As your personal brand. So Mikey Williams has had a brand since, you know what I'm saying, ninth grade, whenever he blew up on the hoop scene working with Overtime. So his personal brand has been making him money outside of college interest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Mikey Williams, all those guys in college, I think that has no implications in terms of NCAA.
I'm about to say it's like they can't tell them to put none of their deals now because they already had them going into college.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you would still have to report them, but still, like, high school stuff, I feel like is separate than like I'm being recruited by the school, and these boosters are coming after me, offering me money, stuff like that.
So you could make it like a dead period. So like once you hit your senior year, you can't sign any deals until you get to college.
I think that's fair too. I think that's a great idea.
Let me ask you this when we can move on after this. We know. Let me dance around it because y'all don't like me getting people in trouble here, but whatever. I guess I'll do it for y'all. Y'all know I have a very well-known teammate in high school, very highly recruited. Do I need to elaborate on more who I'm talking about, or do you?
We good.
Exactly. Obviously. There's a well-known rumor that a certain school put a significant amount of money in a McDonald's bag, and that he ended up going to that school. So that's illegal, right?
Yeah.
With your ruling, how would a situation like that be prevented in your case, Nick?
Yet again, you can't prevent it because it's been going on in college football since I don't know when. Before NIL rules were made, you had the bag man, all the stuff, you know what I'm saying? The whole, I want to say the Sports Illustrated did the whole thing detailing the Laramie Tunsil face mask and the bag man and all the stuff between Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and the handling of money by the boosters. That stuff is going to happen. It's hard to regulate because that's like, you know what I'm saying, simple. Hey, what you doing? Come meet me for lunch. Oh, I'm going to give you a bag of money. You know what I'm saying? You can't regulate that. You can try, and you can enforce it on the back end after you hear about it, but there's nothing you can do to enforce it in the moment. You can tell these people not to do it, all of that, but you can't stop it. It's part of college football now. You know what I'm saying? So if the story gets out, of course that player is going to get in trouble because that's a violation of rules. But normally those things don't get out because those are handled on a private one-on-one basis. And like I said, it's a part of college football now, especially in the South. It's not going anywhere.
But wasn't the point of NIL to stop that type of thing from happening?
I mean, yes, but also there are being changes made to the NIL to get boosters out of it to ensure that, like I said, the main rule of NIL to make sure that these players are not enticed to go to the school. So they're trying to take boosters out of it in terms of giving NIL deals to kids, which we all know if a booster is giving out an NIL deal, it's like, hey, come to my school and get paid. To wrap this episode up, we got to talk about the Grizzlies, man. Unfortunately, hometown team lost in 6 to Golden State, man, without Ja Morant, but we'll take it, bro. Because look at the Grizzlies season, finished 56-26, tied for the best record in franchise history, finished as the second best team in the NBA, and I think this Grizzlies team has a lot to look forward to in the near future. So, first of all, I just want to wrap this season up. Did you guys feel like the Grizzlies met expectations, exceeded expectations, or fell below expectations this season?
I think I'll go with met expectations, then they didn't make the Final Four, but making it to the second round of the playoffs, I'm sure we haven't done that more than 5 or 6 times in our franchise history. We established, a young superstar, a young generational talent in Ja. We seem to have kind of turned a corner with Jared in terms of him not fouling as much, being able to be productive in big moments. Bane took a big jump. The only thing that I think we have to talk about in terms of a negative of recently is the player Dylan Brooks. Always been a kind of a high temperament guy, talking about attitude, things like that. But thinking about what he looked like last year versus Utah and what he looked like this year, I've never been the biggest Dylan Brooks fan. I've always felt like we could it wouldn't be that hard to replace a guy that plays a little bit defense and takes a lot of bad shots. But, last year I was very quiet because he looked like the all-star level player. He looked like what Bane looked like versus Minnesota last year. But I ain't gonna lie, man, like he was horrible. Like, I don't want to say that's the reason we lost because I think the reason we lost because Ja got hurt. But Dylan Brooks can get a fair share of blame.
Like he took some horrendous shots, bro. Game
yeah,
4.
but it's not like a thing to where this is first time seeing like this is a character trait of him. That's the one big thing that we got to look like and be like, we got to do something about this. Besides Tyson and Kyle, I guess.
For me, I think the Grizzlies exceeded expectations this year. Because if you take a step back and you look at it on the timeline, we just had a top 3 pick 3 years ago, and you're second best team in the NBA record wise. You make it to the second round of the playoffs, lose your star player, and you still take the series to 6 games, and you have 2 blowout victories in that series. The Grizzlies are way ahead of schedule. They've got their core together. Now I think it's just time for them to build on that going into the future. And you bring up Dillon Brooks, he's due for an extension this offseason. We'll see how that goes, or if they decide to move him on an expiring deal. But, you know what I'm saying? I think the Grizzlies got a lot of decisions to make, and I think this summer is going to be a very crucial one for the Grizzlies in terms of where the franchise goes in the next 10, 15 years.
I'm going to say that they met expectations because, like you said, just 3 years ago, they had a top 3 pick. So the first year they just missed the play-in. The next year they made the play-in, having to win 2 games. They did that
as a 9th seed.
Yeah, it got to the first round that season. Then this season they got to the second round. So you want to keep getting better, and that's what they're doing. Now going into this next season, that's where it gets kind of tricky, bro. Dillon Brooks, oh my goodness. I like Dillon Brooks. I'm not even gonna lie to you. How is he? 25?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he's still young and he can get even better. His jump, he got like one of the ugliest jumpers in it. Like he throwing a shot put or something. I don't know. But
one-handed,
but between him and Jaren, we got some nasty jumpers on our team.
Yeah, bro. But like every team has that one player. It's just like, bro, I hate him so much. But then sometimes he makes a good play here and there and makes it okay. We might can keep him. Who? The Celtics got Marcus Smart, bro. That's the Nuggets got Will Barton. Like, come on.
No. Let me stop you there. No. You cannot make that comparison, bro. You cannot make that
comparison. Why not? They the same
because Marcus Smart
2 years ago is exactly what Dillon Brooks is.
No. I mean, I ain't gonna lie.
You kind of Marcus Smart. That's why they didn't want to invest in him. That's why they brought in Kyrie and Kimber, bro.
Marcus Smart can't score as well as Dillon Brooks, first of all. But it's so Dillon Brooks.
Marcus Smart know his role better than Dillon Brooks.
Marcus Smart. Yes. Y'all think Dillon Brooks is like?
If I asked you this 2 years ago, who would you say?
Marcus, but I like Marcus Smart coming out of Oklahoma State though. I told you, Nick. Once he ran in the crowd and jumped on the old white man, I was like, "This is my type of guy. This is the attitude that I like to bring to the league." But like, is Dillon Brooks really that good of a defender? Like, is that what we're saying?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He was giving Steph the blues. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Okay, is he a good defender or does he bother Steph a lot because size?
He bothers Donovan Mitchell a lot because in the Jazz series last year,
Donovan Mitchell was kind of murdered.
I was about to say,
he was fouling out.
I remember Spider getting popping his ish on us.
What Jaren was doing in the Timberwolves series, that's what he was doing. But at least he was giving us points before he fouled out.
Yeah, that's true. Because he was our leading scorer last year in the playoffs.
I was about to say, like, I think, honestly, the biggest decision is what we do with Tyus and Kyle, because I think it's clear to say that those guys were better in the playoffs than Dillon Brooks, and they both kind of feel a bigger need than Dillon Brooks in terms of backup point guard and kind of amoeba mobile piece in the 3-4 that Kyle does. But, like, that's what I say, like, with Dillon, like, can we not find another guy either in the draft or free agency or a trade that plays a little bit of defense and can take Billy Bad shots? Like,
I think it's hard, bro, because for one, crazy stat. The Grizzlies haven't acquired anybody in free agency since 2019 when we signed Tyus. It was Tyus Jones was our last free agent signing, bro. So normally it's hard for us to get guys to Memphis just because it is Memphis. But now that we have a superstar, now that we're one of the better teams in the league, hopefully those free agents start rolling in and start having interest in Memphis without just us having interest in them. You get what I'm saying? Right. So hopefully those things start to change. And talking about Tyus some more, man, it's going to be hard to bring him back. It's going to be really hard.
What's he getting on the open market? $10 million a year?
I think he gets above
probably
that.
15.
He's going to get in that 15
range.
Yes.
Bro, Tyus Jones?
He led the league back-to-back years in the
40 for 60 for Tyus Jones?
Who would you rather have, Tyus Jones or Russell Westbrook?
Tyus Jones. Bro, he's a floor general. Bro, and then if you look at the games he started, bro, look at the games he started. Every game he started, he going for 18 to 24, bro.
21-7.
You said above 10 million.
21-7 as a starter. Thank you. 21-7 as a starter, bro. That's elite numbers. That's elite.
Is he gonna start for whoever he signs to? That's my question.
I think he's ready for a starting role. However, I think our best chance of keeping him here is that he buys into the culture. You know, that's our best chance of keeping him here because he's gonna have a high price point, and I'm not going to be sure if we're going to be willing to dish out 15 to 18 million for a backup point guard.
Just looking out big picture, like what other team could really just give him that money?
I mean, bro, there are always the sorry teams that are going to blow a bag. You think about teams
the Magic.
Yeah.
The Kings. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
I mean, but the Magic have like 3 guards. Like, you rather have Tyus Jones and Cole Anthony? I mean, it's like, yes, but it's then again, it's like, well,
yeah, he doesn't fit the timeline.
Do you trade that contract? You probably got to trade.
That's what I was about to say. Like, I think the best case for scenario for us and Tyus this offseason is if we keep him and sign him to like not that big level money, but like he kind of like messes with us. You know what I'm saying? Throws us a deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Or, unfortunately, I think we will have to do this and have to move on from Tyus. I think a sign and trade is our best option, bro. Because
we signing trading backup point guards in the NBA now, bro. What is going on?
Hear me out. Dillon Brooks, Tyus Jones, and our 2 draft picks for Zach LaVine. They gonna leave. Zach LaVine's gonna leave, bro.
Chicago wouldn't take that.
Yes,
that's like a double signing trade. I ain't never seen that one.
Yes, they would.
Okay, before we exit out, y'all gotta tell me what Dillon Brooks is gonna do, or what's gonna happen with him, or we're gonna do with him.
I mean, he's not a free agent. He's just due.
He's expiring though.
No, next year will be his last year, so we can extend him this year to where we're not up at the deadline at the end of next year. So it's Dillon Brooks and Brandon Clark on expiring deals next year. So they are both eligible for extensions.
Who would you rather bring back?
I would rather bring back Brandon Clark. I would rather extend him now because especially the way he played this postseason, he's gonna be a Raptor if we let him walk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's crazy. You put the right fit on him too. No cap.
Oh God.
6'8" with bounce.
I think we got to lock Brandon Clark up now, and I think Dillon Brooks. I think we make him play a prove here, like prove to us you fit this team. We need you, and then
would you even offer an extension or no?
I wouldn't offer one, not yet. I would like bring him in and have the discussion and be like, hey, like this is what we want to do with you because honestly, as a franchise, we don't know. You look at the shots he's taking, it doesn't fit the team. You know what I'm saying? You look at guys like Josh, Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson, you understand who the Grizzlies want to be as a team. Then you see Dillon Brooks and you're like, how does he fit into that?
I can see him getting like a 2-year, $30 million.
I ain't gonna lie. If you don't offer him an extension, he's not gonna sign in the offseason. That's how these guys are nowadays.
I mean, yeah.
They want they want security.
Bro, he's not I'm sorry. He's not in the big 3 anymore.
No, I'm just
right now. Ja, Triple J, and Bang. Those are your core 3. That's who you care about.
You still gotta pay Ja. You still gotta pay Bang.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying if you don't at least try to offer him an extension, you might as well. I think you might as well just tell him to go because.
What's your opinion on Jaren Jackson, bro?
Don't ask me that bullshit.
He's here to stay.
Will he be an all-star?
Yes.
He needs to be.
He will be.
Will he be?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You know what's crazy? And y'all might be mad at this. I don't know. I'm playing like a daddy, but we might have just seen Jaren Jackson's peak. No cap.
This year. Crazy.
We might have just
what we just saw was Jaren Jackson put the pieces together.
So,
we just saw him.
You think so?
I know so.
What happens if he never gets any better than this? What if he never averages more than 7 rebounds a game or less than 4 fouls a game?
Bro, he's learning. You still got to look at it, bro. This is his 4th year in the league. This is his 4th. Yeah, this is his 4th year in the league. He's 22, and now he's understanding how to be aggressive, how to find his spots, and more importantly, he's learning how to take advantage of mismatches and put the ball on the floor.
He does that at a high level, though. I don't think he's going to improve much more in that area, honestly.
Yes, he is.
At 7 foot, he's already putting together pretty elite. He's putting together elite on the floor. I don't think he has.
So if you're saying he's elite, doing all this elite stuff, why won't he be an all-star?
I mean, first of all, he can't rebound and he fouls too much. Like that's what
rebounding. Okay, cool. He doesn't have to be in the paint. That's the thing. You got Steven Adams for a reason.
But there's still a requisite, and we're talking about him playing the 5. He's gonna have to be a tougher in rebound in the future. Okay. And we're not
asking that of him.
So you're okay with your starting power forward having 5 rebounds?
You can't put that stigma on him when the system was built around to where he doesn't.
I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, he's first team all defense though, bro.
Exactly.
This is true. But if you're 7 feet tall, you need to be able to give. That was Marcus Gasol problem, really crazy.
Right, and time out. Think about how teams in the NBA play. How many teams play a true in the paint 4? Jaren Jackson isn't sitting in the paint to grab rebounds all game.
True.
So stop looking at the stats.
Like Crowder get 4 rebounds.
Exactly.
He gave 4.
Exactly, bro. when you
Okay, Jay Crowder is what, 6'5"? Jaren Jackson is what, 7 freaking fucking feet tall.
and when you play the Phoenix Suns, guess what Jaren Jackson is on defense? In the corner guarding Jay Crowder.
Bruh, yeah, I respect you, Nick. I love you. You know this. But anyway you cut it, Jaren Jackson did get more than 6 rebounds a game. I don't care. He can crash the board 4 times on offense on missed threes and get 4 rebounds.
He doesn't have to be a rebounder to be a good basketball player or
to be an all-star, though, he
That's
needs
my
to be a
point.
rebounder.
No, you don't. When you average,
he's not making the all-star with 6, 7 rebounds.
The key stats for Jaren Jackson next year, in order to be an all-star or in the future of his career, is going to be points and blocks.
Yeah, 3 points.
That's who Jaren Jackson is.
Okay, let me ask y'all this. Other than the big three, Jaren, Bane, and Ja, name 3 more players that's on the Grizzlies roster right now that you would want, that you could see being on a championship team for the Grizzlies.
I got you right now. Steven Adams, Tyus Jones, and I think, this is why I think Dylan Brooks is expendable, but Zaire Williams.
Took one of mine.
I think those 3 is all you need.
I'll say Zaire Williams, John Conchar playing. Zaire Williams, DeAnthony Melton, and who am I?
DeAnthony Melton.
I ain't gonna lie, if he ever gets it right in the playoffs, yeah, because he does a lot of what Dylan does. Damn, that's a good question. Right. Tillman, because Tillman can do what Kevon Looney can do. He ain't gonna get played off the floor.
Tillman
can beat Kevon Looney.
Oh God, that's bad cap.
I mean, you said outside of the big 3. Who else?
Brandon Clark not part of the
big three.
But think about how he was getting DNP-CDs.
Yeah. The regular season.
I would take BC over Tillman right
Taylor Jenkins, you think he's gonna be the championship coach for the Grizzlies?
Yes. I think Taylor Jenkins is one of the best coaches in the NBA, no cap. Just from a game plan standpoint.
Second level for sure.
He is, because he still got to earn the stripes, but you can see him bro. He just went toe to toe with Steve Kerr, bro.
Steve Kerr sucks though. Yeah.
So now to wrap this Grizzlies segment up, man, I gotta ask y'all, what does this Grizzlies team need, whether it be players, coaches, strategies, whatever, in order to push them to that next level and maybe even make them a championship caliber team?
For me, I want to still idea we just said. They got Bane, which is a big help, but we need another sharpshooter. Ja's not a guy that spaces the floor. Jaren is a guy that we just talked about. He spaces the floor, but for my money, I would like to take just a couple threes, sir. You don't got to take all the 30-footers that you see with your goddamn push shot from the boops. But I would just like to see him take less threes. So I just feel like, we need another wing that can shoot, just open the floor for Ja, to give more space for Jaren, for Steven Adams to open up the floor a little bit, because that's the name of the game now. The Warriors just beat him with what? Jordan Poole, great 3-pointer shooter. Klay Thompson, I don't gotta run through the list, but that is what is king in the NBA right now, is shot making and 3-point shooting. So Desmond Bane taking a huge jump really helped us. But even if Dylan Brooks did what he did last year at Utah, talking about, if Dylan Brooks had went from completely horrible to 35% from 3, I feel like we could have won that series, even with Ja being hurt. So I just feel like we need one more knockdown shooter that can play a little bit of defense to either replace Dylan Brooks or just to give the team another dimension.
I like that answer because just like with Dylan Brooks, the replacement is already on the team, bro. That's Zion Williams. But with the big man, I think we need another big man. One guy that's not food when we switch. Just like that's why we had to take out Steven Adams in the Minnesota series. So one guy that comes to mind, JaVale McGee, to be a big guy that's gonna get you boards, still play solid defense. He's a rim protector. Or another guy, he's up in New York, and that's Mitchell Robinson. It's just you need a big man that's gonna get you boards, and whenever you switch, you don't have to worry about having to switch and the guy blowing past you in an ISO. I think those are 2 big guys. If we just had a big man, just like when Steven Adams missed the first 2 games because of COVID, if we could have had another guy that could have came in, gave you that type of production that Steven Adams gives you, like an Andre Drummond, who I'm sure we can get for a lesser deal, somebody like that, just a big man that's serviceable. Or the Pelicans got 2 of them. Well, we already have Valanciunas, but Jackson Hayes, somebody like that, that can just protect the paint. So I'm gonna go with a big man.
Aiden being played off the floor in the playoffs. I don't know, like when you talk about big man, you talking about JaVale McGee. I just don't I feel like it's just so damn specific. We had to find a big guy, like you said, a big guy.
A rebounding man. Did we not get killed by the Warriors in rebounds?
Yeah. But they had a lot of long, ugly rebounds too.
Yeah, because they shoot so many threes.
But when Steven Adams came in, it feel like it all just shifted though. So just having an extra big man.
Yeah, I understand that point, bro. I think both of y'all brought up some really good points in terms of what the Grizzlies need. But for me, I think I'm gonna side more with Josh and a shooter. But this goes more to my point of the Grizzlies need a better half court offense, point blank, period. Because
Mm.
a lot of times, bro, we get in those half court sets and we just can't score the ball because the pace slows down, the paint gets collapsed, and it's harder for us to find shots. So I think if we add another shooter or find a way to hit threes, if y'all been watching, you know the Mavs are in the Western Conference Finals right now by playing 5-out AAU basketball, and
Man,
it's working. It hasn't worked against the Warriors so far. They're down 2,
Maxi
but
Kleber going
it's
crazy.
working.
Yeah.
So I think what the Grizzlies need to do is add another shooter, add another Swiss Army knife kind of player. They need that Warriors, Harrison Barnes, Andrew Wiggins type player, I think, to really bring this team together and take them to that next level.
Yeah.
Which Zaire can come into. But even if Zaire does become, I think, somebody like Melt, who struggles in the playoffs for us, if he ever, gets some consistency in the playoffs, becomes a little bit of a knockdown shooter. He's an okay shooter, but we need a guy that probably
We need a
hovers
shooter
around.
with size, though. Let me be specific. We need a shooter with size.
Why you say that? Why
Because
what size? Like
we
6'6" or taller?
we have too many guards. We need
Mm.
that 3/4 shooter like PJ
OG
Tucker,
Anunoby.
Reggie Bullock, OG Anunoby, like that kind of body
Okay.
type.
How much you think Andrew Wiggins is gonna be on the market this offseason?
He gonna get a bag.
I was about to say all-star starter.
He not gonna get a max, but he gonna get a bag for sure.
I wouldn't without a max.
Around Jaren's contract?
Yeah, probably. Like close to the max, but not the max. You know what I'm
the
saying?
Warriors can't give him that, bro.
Exactly.
Like, he gonna have to go somewhere.
He gonna be in Toronto too.
All right. Well, speaking of know these things, y'all ready for my game ball?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go with most popular team and the most popular sport in the world, bro. That's Manchester City in the Premier League, soccer. Y'all sleep, bro. Hey, I don't even watch soccer. I can't even cap to you. But I woke up this morning. There was nothing on TV. I was like, let me turn on this game. All they had to do was win the game. So if you win, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 2 points. And if you lose, you get 1 point. It's a point system. Yeah. So this is the championship Sunday. All they had to do was win their game. They was down 2-0 in the 75th minute. Now, y'all know it's hard to score in soccer, bro. So
yeah.
Sure would be like 2-1, 1-0. They was down 2-0 in the 75th minute. You know, it goes to 90 minutes.
90, yeah.
So 75th minute, they down 2-0. 82nd minute, they up 3-2. That's the dub and won the Premier League championship. Shout out to them.
You sat down and watched this game.
I turned like I said, I turned it on. It was 2-0 in the 75th minute. I feel like I was the good luck charm.
I'm about to say, so how would 3 goals scored in 11 minutes? Like
it wasn't even 11. It was 7 minutes. It was like literally they scored. You know, they set it back up. That takes like a minute.
That's
true. In like 2 minutes, and then they set it back up and scored again in like 4 minutes. It was crazy.
Sound like a Tim Donahue situation going on. But what's your game ball, Nick?
Yeah, for my game ball, bro, got to give it to the Chargers media team, bro. They're a W media team. Their schedule release was hard, the whole anime thing. And then they did a thread on Twitter, bro. Our opponent says Pop-Tarts, bro. They said Kyler Murray was the mini strawberry Pop-Tarts that made my day, bro. The Chargers media team, they're a W team, bro.
Wow. I didn't know we had a silly theme today. I feel like I can scroll Twitter, social media long enough to find a silly theme. I thought we was doing actual players. Shout out to the girl. I've been sending Instagram with the no tooth. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't got a tooth, but you got a bag, baby. You feel what I'm saying? She's blowing up right now. But for me, I gave it to actual player. Game ball, give it to actual player, but my co-host don't think the same. I got to give it to Jalen Brunson, man, honestly. In the playoffs, I know I don't even look at the stats. I know he's probably averaging over 20. I know he's shooting at least probably 35% from 3. And that's a problem. You know, you look at a guy like Jalen Brunson, second round. Well, first of all, very high pedigree. Elite AAU player, played against him. Elite high school player, McDonald's All-American. Elite college player, 2-time All-American, national championship at Villanova. So, like, he's been good at every level of basketball. But people didn't think he could be good in the NBA. You know, small, undersized, wasn't the best shooter, not the most shifty, whatever. But he's found a way to make it work, you know, being Luka's trusty number 2. You know, he's given he gave Utah and he's giving the Warriors a lot of problems in this series. So if Dallas does come back from 0-2, Jalen Brunson will be a big part of it. I will be very interested to see how much money he makes whenever he's up for a contract extension or a new contract.
Bro, I feel like I've asked you guys this off camera, bro. Who was Jalen Brunson's player comparison?
Yeah, you said something else. And Jalen Brunson player comparison?
His own
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Put the what did they say? Stay off the lead.
I mean, he played like Luka Doncic.
His feet work and shot making is impeccable, bro. Like that's the only thing that come to mind, bro.
Oh, I asked it on Twitter. Somebody said Brandon Roy.
Ew, he's not explosive.
I was about to say no. I mean, he's not explosive.
He's a back to the basket, well, not a back to the basket. A post operating point guard.
You have admonished all the picks before. I have not heard you contribute not a one comparison, Mr. Hayes. So until you do, I
said Hakeem Olajuwon because the way he be spin, reverse, spin, fake. Let me get this up.
That's Luka Doncic.
It is Luka in a way, but it's a whole lot of spinning, reversing, fake.
Can you be serious, sir? Can you be serious for a second?
I'm trying to think of like bigger guards, but honestly, bro, Andre Miller. Andre Miller with a shot. He's
scoring way better than Andre Miller, though. Man, I would be like, die Jamal Crawford, bro.
That's terrible.
And Andre Miller's a lot better. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, he's a very unique player. I'll say that for sure. Like Nick said, he is a 6'1" dude that actually Darren Williams. Not at his peak, but like Nets Darren Williams towards the end, Jalen Brunson can do that. For sure. Nets Darren Williams, Jalen Brunson can do that. Put up 20 points.
He's better than Nets Darren Williams, bro.
Nick doesn't think so. I can tell in his face he don't think so.
I never was a Darren Williams fan. I ain't
gonna lie. I thought Darren Williams was better than Chris Paul when he was in his prime.
Oh, definitely. You know
you taught Darren Williams. Yeah.
I hate Chris Paul, bro.
I mean, but Chris Paul been elite, and then everybody like, oh, that argument doesn't make sense anymore. But guess what, though? When it's crunch time, Chris Paul gonna what? Old. So hey, I don't know. Like maybe Darren Williams was better than Chris Paul ultimately.
Yeah. And so that's another episode. No Cap Sports, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, do all of that, man. And we're gonna be back at y'all next week, man. So make sure y'all stay locked in before I tweak out. Just like that, we out of here.
Don't let them tweak out, y'all.